She asked for an open relationship, then couldn't handle the consequences. I was the one who asked for the open relationship. Not because anything was wrong, not really. I just got bored. My boyfriend, Harry, was a great guy, 28 years old, kind, stable, but after a while, I felt like the spark was gone. I was 25 and craving something more exciting. So I brought it up, and to my surprise, he said yes. But he gave me one warning. He told me, if I catch feelings for someone else, I'm leaving. I shrugged it off back then. I did not think it would actually happen. Well, 8 months later, it did. He met someone else, fell in love with her, and left me just like he said he would. She is around his age, maybe 28 or 29. And now here I am, heartbroken and alone, wishing I could take it all back. I want him back more than anything. He was the love of my life, and now he is in someone else's arms. I keep thinking, what can I do to make him see that I have changed? That I want to fix things? I made a post about it online, and the comments came flooding in. One person said, that's the ultimate reverse card, like I somehow played myself. Another said, you're the one who asked for the open relationship, and now you're shocked that it backfired? You did this to yourself. That one stung the most because it was true. I replied saying I did not want to be single. I wanted to prove to Harry that I could be better. But nobody seemed to believe that could happen. Another person said, there's no fixing this without a time machine. Then someone else chimed in, well, if it isn't the consequences of your own actions. And yeah, maybe it is. What I still do not understand is why he waited 8 months before leaving. But someone explained, feelings take time to grow. Whether it was 8 days or 8 months, he warned you. He was honest. A few days after the breakup, I got kicked out of his house. I have been gone for 6 days now, and it hurts more than I thought it would. I miss him terribly. I even tried calling him, but he will not answer. I saw him once in public, and he acted like I was a stranger. He would not even look at me. So I went to our old place, hoping to talk to him, to clear the air. But it went downhill fast. His new girlfriend, Jess, went off on me even though I had never met her before. She actually tried to attack me. Harry got between us and tried to get me out of there. When he turned his back, she sprayed me with mace. Now he is trying to get a restraining order against me. I do not understand. She attacked me. She sprayed me. How am I the one in trouble? How can I make him see that she is the unstable one, not me? But the comments kept pouring in. One person said, correction, he was dating a psycho. Now he is dating someone who actually wants him. Leave that man alone. Another said, you asked for the open relationship. He played by the rules. You lost him, and now you are trying to spin it like he cheated? Walk away and get therapy. I replied that I was already in therapy, but someone responded, then you need a new therapist, because this one clearly is not helping. And now, this might be the last update. The restraining order went through. I cannot come within 100 feet of Harry or Jess. I have decided to move back home to Arizona and try to start fresh. They look happy. And maybe all I can do now is try to find some kind of peace for myself. Thanks to everyone who gave their honest thoughts. Yes, I was already in therapy. And I am still in therapy. And anyone around my age, please, think twice before making choices based on things you see on social media. TikTok messed me up. Seriously. It filled my head with all these ideas that sounded empowering but led me to wreck something good. I wish I had never downloaded that app. Please take care of yourselves. Do better than I did. No matter how much love I poured into you. I just couldn't bring myself to forgive and forget. I hate you for what you did to me and for what you kept doing. And I mean that. So let me make it clear, since you clearly didn't get it the first time. We are done. Go screw yourself. 9 days later. Sorry it took me a bit to give y'all an update. I finally got around to going to a local tech shop, and thank God they helped me recover everything I'd lost. I hadn't been able to deal with it sooner because, well, finals week. I'm actually typing this out on the way to class. But yes, for anyone still wondering, I got everything back. Now, on to the next story. Story 3. I walked out of my wedding after being humiliated by the groom's best friend. Hey, folks. This one's more of a vent. A full-on scream into the void. I'm doing better now, but at the time? Oh, I was furious. Still kinda am. Let's just get right to it. I left my fiancée at the altar. Yup. 8 months ago. I know, it sounds awful. And believe me, I know how it sounds. But before you judge me, please hear me out. People always feel bad for the person who gets dumped. That's natural. But nobody ever seems to think about the one who has to find the courage to end it. They act like you should be fine because you're the one who ended things. But let me tell you, sometimes being the one to walk away is even harder. I'm not excusing toxic people who hurt their partners. That's not what this is. But some folks just slowly drain the life out of you. It's not always loud or obvious. Sometimes they're just emotionally distant. Sometimes they put everything and everyone else ahead of you. Sometimes they cut you down every time you shine just to make themselves feel better. My ex? He had all of that going on. And his best friend? Somehow worse. Those two made my life miserable for a long time, and I didn't even realize how bad it had gotten. I thought that was just life. But now that I'm on the other side of it, the peace I've got now, it's incredible. Of course, that didn't stop them from showing back up later and stirring up trouble again. Let me take you back a bit. Back to college. Yeah, I was dumb. I dated this man for 4 years. But my real mistake? Saying yes when he proposed. He and his best friend were joined at the hip since kindergarten. Both of them were arrogant, sexist, and just flat-out rude. It didn't start out that way. My ex was actually pretty charming at first. He knew how to say the right things and make you feel special. But after a few months, the mask came off. He was always out with his friends, never had time for me. And if I ever questioned him about it, I was the crazy one. Gaslighting, pure and simple. When college ended and I was job hunting, he straight up laughed in my face. In front of our friends, no less. Told me I'd never get hired. And his best friend? He'd chime in with garbage like, they only hired you 'cause you're pretty. Like I was just decoration or something. And the worst part? My ex would just laugh along. Anytime we had a fight, he'd run off and tell all his buddies. His best friend would call me dramatic and impulsive, like I was just some naggy stereotype. They'd make fun of how I dressed, how I talked, anything to make me feel small. And he'd sit there and watch. As we started planning the wedding, it got even worse. His best friend somehow ended up making all the decisions. I was the bride, and I still had no say. He picked the cake flavor, orange, which I hate. He picked the dress, said my dream gown was too flashy. My ex backed him up every time. I should have walked away then, but I didn't. Then came the wedding day, and that's when everything fell apart for good. His best friend decided to play some sick joke. Right in the middle of the ceremony, he brings in a pregnant woman and tells the whole crowd that my groom shouldn't marry me because he already had a beautiful girlfriend who was carrying his child. This wasn't done in private. This was in front of everyone. Every guest. Every friend. Every family member. I was frozen. Couldn't even cry. Then, to make it worse, he and the groom, and that woman laughed. Said it was a prank. A prank. After humiliating me in front of everyone, they laughed it off and called me the dramatic one when I got upset. And that's when I realized I couldn't live like this. Not another second. So I walked. Left him right there at the altar and disappeared for 2 weeks. I needed space to breathe and to survive. The mental toll was real. I ended up in therapy, cried myself to sleep for weeks, couldn't eat. I even got hospitalized at one point for dehydration and malnutrition. But slowly, I started to heal. 8 months later, though, guess who came crawling back? Yup, his best friend. Calling, texting, showing up at my job, even knocking on my door. Doing everything he could to convince me to give it another shot. Said I was overreacting. Said it was all a misunderstanding. When I told him I had moved on and didn't want anything to do with him anymore, he just asked if I was dating someone else. Like my decision only mattered if I had a new man. I was done. I finally filed for a restraining order. Should have done it sooner. He even started bugging my friends when I blocked his number. Then, out of nowhere, I got a message from his girlfriend, saying I was being too dramatic and making a big deal out of nothing. Like, seriously? Are they all like this? Eventually, I reached out to my ex one last time. Told him flat out that if his friend didn't back off, I'd take it further. He said he understood and that I wouldn't hear from them again. It's been a week now. No calls. No texts. No surprises. And honestly, I hope it stays that way. This whole mess was exhausting. Talking about it here has helped more than I expected. Y'all have been kind, and I appreciate that. So yeah, I'm signing off for now. But for the record, I ain't the villain here. They are. If you're still here, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell if you want more real-life stories just like this one. Till next time.